goes to the principals, or it goes to district office. Fourth stanza moves to in their backpacks. Third stanza, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth one is struck. And the last one stays. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
All right. We'll take a vote on it. All those in favor of those amendments to the electronic device policy, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. All right, so we're going into September with ban on cell phones. And get us maybe an up.
Yeah, I'll
Updated
provide
policy.
the updated
Okay.
policy for review next month.
Excellent. All right, now into new business. This is just a discussion. I sent out just a draft. We can adopt these, but they're essentially just the policies, all the policies down at the bottom of the um, bullet points. So just board position description, responsibility and communication, stepping in board chair, just making sure we're all on the same page. I sent an email a couple of weeks ago in their discussion on am I able to send it? What am I able to send out? Should we all come up with documents ourselves? So it's long, so I'm just gonna read through this so we know what the policy is and then open up to discussion. So this agenda item aims to briefly review our respective roles considering general responsibilities and communication as defined by district policy, the whole board's policy, and governance. The board is responsible for establishing policy and regulations for governing district programs and services consistent with state and federal laws. I don't have to read all through the rest of that for that section. The next bullet point. Public communication, the board is responsible for keeping informed about the public's needs and wishes and keeping local citizens informed about the schools. This includes communicating the district's commitment to providing a safe educational environment, emphasizing parent and community supporting student growth. The board may appoint a spokesperson for official statements. Oversight and evaluation, the board oversees the district's financial affairs, authorizes payments, and provides for an annual audit, ensuring funds are located effectively to meet student needs and district goals. It employs staff and formally evaluates the superintendent's job performance at least once each year based on the job description, performance standards, board policy, and progress toward goals. The board also evaluates the effectiveness of policies and their overall implementation, achieving district goals, and provides professional advice, counsel, to the administration. Meetings and procedures. The board operates under established meeting procedures, including quorum requirements, voting duties, and parliamentary procedure. All meetings, including work sessions and special committees, must follow public meeting laws, ensuring transparency decision making related to achieving district goals. Superintendent's responsibility. Chief Executive Officer in general supervision. The superintendent is designated as the district's chief executive officer, exercising general supervision of all district schools, personnel, and departments under the board's direction. They are responsible for professional leadership and translating the will of the board into administrative action, leading efforts to provide students with the knowledge and skills for success in academics, the world of work, and as citizens consistent with district goals. The superintendent is accountable to the board for district management and may delegate power and duties to other personnel. District operations and implementation. The superintendent is responsible for all aspects of district operations, developing procedures and regulations to ensure efficient operation and the effective implementation of board policies in good faith. There's all that stuff down there too. Read it all. Financial management, superintendent or designees prepare the annual budget, responsible for receiving, holding, and expending district funds as designated by the board in law and supervise matters pertaining to the physical plant, purchasing, and business affairs. Personnel management, excluding board evaluation. The superintendent recommends employees for appointment, promotion, transfer, probation, and dismissal, and interviews, evaluates applicants for positions. The superintendent also implements and supervises the evaluation system for administrators and regularly reports to the board on its implementation and educator effectiveness. Curriculum and instruction, the superintendent strives to develop and supervise continuous curriculum improvement, directs and serves training, and prepares, submits courses of study and curriculum to the board of approval. Planning and research, the superintendent makes recommendations and plans for meeting educational needs to the staff through staff collaboration research, serving as director of research to indicate future trends and evaluate program effectiveness. Information and agenda preparation. The superintendent furnishes necessary background information to the board for policy consideration, prepares the agenda for each meeting, and submits monthly financial and other reports to keep the board informed. The preparation should reflect the district's commitment to its goals, including utilizing data for evaluating curriculum and resource allocation. Policy and development dissemination. Superintendent has a basic responsibility for initiating, reviewing, and recommending new policies or modifications that align with the district goals for student learning, health, and responsible decision making. They also provide channels for disseminating appropriate policies to the community and maintain the policy manual. Superintendent uses judgment on which specific handbooks need board approval, but makes all published handbooks available to the board for informational purposes. Board secretary, the superintendent designates and supervises the board secretary who handles meeting notes, compiles minutes, and maintains efficient policy records. Negotiation. The superintendent serves as chief consultant to the board on negotiations, analyzing salary and economic proposals. That's a lot of stuff that you do. So, the board's chair, meeting management, board chair assists the superintendent in establishing an agenda for regular meetings, calls special meetings when required, and presides at all board meetings, enforcing rules and order. This leadership ensures that the discussions and decisions contribute to the district's goals, such as providing quality education, fostering community involvement, official representation, chair signs minutes and other official documents, represents the district board. Official functions, unless this duty is delegated to another board member, this representation should uphold the district's commitment to its educational and community goals. The chair, together with the superintendent, executes all legal documents. Committee appointments. The chair appoints all committees unless otherwise ordered by the board, ensuring these committees contribute to the district's objectives. Voting rights. The chair has the right to discuss issues and vote on any issue before the board, contributing to decisions and advancing district goals. And then all this below is communication processes. I'm not going to read all of those out loud. Just want you to go through them. So basically, that's in a nutshell. I know when I first came on the board, it took 2 years. Like, what am I doing? So this gives an outline based on our policy, kind of how we do things. Sorry, I had to read most of it out loud, but that's where we are. I just wanted to get us all on the same page. You know, where three of us are going to go to the school board training, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff there that you'll learn well. So any discussion about this, clarifications? Okay. Just wanted to have that for the team actually sitting here. And then B, board minutes procedure. We've been talking about this in the background, where things go online, just to have those clarified. If you read through this, are there any things, essentially like the superintendent and the secretary and Bonnie, whatever works for you guys.
Is there a reason we can't just sign them at the end of the meeting when they're approved? So we have.
No. I mean, we can, yeah.
Well, I would prefer not to have a stack of them at the end of the year that I then have to scan into my records.
Well,
because
I understand that.
paper records.
I had a conversation with Kristen about this whole thing, and she told me that she really wanted to be on the signing of the minutes. In addition to the chairman and myself, she wanted to be a third signature on the minutes once they're approved. So I have already added another signature line for her, did that on my own because I didn't know all of this was coming out. And the one thing you say in here is needing to mark approved. I understand the whole draft thing. I'm not sure it would need to necessarily have approved across it because once they're signed, they're approved.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe isn't a necessary step. But other than that, I have no problem really with the whole thing. It's not much different than what we do right now. I draft them out, send it to Kristen. She goes over them first and sends me some corrections or whatever back. I get them that way. And then it goes to Bonnie to go out. The only additional step I see that you've got here that we haven't been doing in the past is also at that point emailing them to the board members, because we were basically just putting it online and then making copies for the board in the board packet at the next meeting. So that's really the only new thing in this
Okay.
whole thing.
So the minutes working for everybody. Yeah. So, any last discussions about that? Okay. Then, the next one is agenda item request form that I put together. When I first came on board, I just didn't know how to, if I had an idea about something, how to get it to the superintendent to do that. So this is a request form. If everybody's okay with how this is formatted, you can get it put in a file on the computer. If you have an idea, you can send it to me. I'll send it to Kristen. She can see if it fits with the district goals to, to have that. So, any discussion on that? Then I'm gonna hand it over to Kristen for here, because they had their retreat and came up with some pretty good goals. And then after that, I handed out, I sent everyone on the board an email to, they have any proposed, board goals. One of the things I meant to do is get the previous board goals. But that was buried in an email somewhere in the past. So feels like what I have here from the board via the form that I sent out really aligns with everything that Kristen has already put together. So I'll let you take it away and then I'll add to that.
Sounds good. So, I wrote you guys a memo, that just reiterates those priority areas that were identified by our cabinet. So just to review, our cabinet consists of myself, Tess, Josie, Tiffany Kensler, our director of mental health, Pamela Malcolm, our nurse, CS Little, our technology director, John Colswano, our dean of students and athletic director, Don Peterson, our facilities director, and Samantha Brock, our director of transportation, and Shelley Hunt, our director of special education. So there was a lot of really great collaboration that happened at our cabinet retreat with the identifying of campus safety, academic improvement, and positive staff culture development. I think that they address some pretty critical operational needs while also supporting our mission, where we're providing exceptional educational opportunities for all of our students at Dufur School. And I think that if there's also the establishment of clear board goals, those provide really strategic direction for our administrative efforts in carrying out your guys' vision. So annual board goal setting provides that essential strategic direction. It serves as a framework for the superintendent evaluation and the superintendent's goals and our district accountability measures. And the recommended priority areas that emerged from our cabinet work session were also based very heavily on analysis of the 2024-2025 school year as far as district data and stakeholder feedback that resulted from our integrated guidance application. So just a little bit going more into our key findings. Campus safety, we talked about just enhanced security measures, specifically camera placement at our school's entryways. When a student rings the bell to get let into one of our doors, the person working in the front office currently can see straight in front of and behind that student, but we'd really like to take a look at camera placement as far as what is to the side of that student or person trying to enter Dufur School, and do we have eyes on everybody? Academic performance trends, we talked a little bit last month about ever since COVID, our district performance remains similar to state averages, but prior to COVID, we were performing well above Oregon state averages, which is where we need to be again. So we want to take a look at English language arts and math, targeted interventions, and also the state ELA and math standards, looking at those from a K through 12 lens, and aligning those standards grade by grade so that we're prioritizing standards heavily in certain grades rather than trying to prioritize them all equally every year. And then staff retention and satisfaction indicators. We last year took a look at our staff satisfaction due for school in 2024-25 as part of integrated guidance, and we would like to improve that and maintain positive workplace culture to make sure that we're retaining and attracting quality staff members, and also that so that all of our staff feel excited and welcomed at Dufur School, which then directly impacts our students. So my recommendation to the board is just a discussion on those 3 priority areas that we've identified, and a discussion around what you guys want to be your 2025-2026 board goals, which really set the tone for our district and our direction.
Okay, so from the form that I sent out, it really aligns with what Kristen and her staff did. So I'm just gonna go through board member proposed goals, and then we'll just open up for discussion. So member 1, academic safety, transparency, and complete cell phone ban. Number 2, academic improvements, state mandate compliance in PE, curriculum purchasing and implementation, financial standing improvement, staff and community trust of the board. Number 3, help staff develop and implement assessment strategies for reading and math that will help teachers and administrators with instruction decision. Work with staff to plan and adapt for the staffing and instruction changes that will be needed to accommodate the middle school growth. Number 4, visual education emphasis, music and arts emphasis, and then board book and digital platform for all of this. And also, I know the people in the crowd are like, you guys have stats, they don't have no idea what you're talking about. So to get that communication to where they can see some of the work that we're doing. And then they had proposed measurable outcomes down here at the bottom. Which goals would you like to see prioritized? Same ones in effect that Kristen's already laid out. And I'll just do the additional comments so people can know them. Additional comments: trust is hard to gauge and definitely takes time. I appreciate the work of the staff leadership team developing goals together to address a diverse set of priorities. We just need to be mindful that there are strategic goals that we as a board need to agree on that are vision based, and implementation for super goals need to be their will to deal with the goals and how we can help them achieve them. So, and then would you like to see more focus on the proposed superintendent focal points? 3 respondents answered yes, more focus. So in there is kind of a framework of how we can do that. So now it's your turn to kind of throw out some like the representative board goals that you see as a priority to start sticking to the wall.
And Tim, I need a copy of that document, please, when you can.
So we try to hash some stuff out tonight. We can think about it and do a board, a special session to go over board goals that align with superintendent, or we can try to fit it in September. Or if we just need to focus on what superintendent put in front of us because it's a lot of stuff.
And I'm willing, like, if you guys want to have an initial discussion, then maybe we could incorporate into our old business, just like a 15-minute work session. Well, it takes so much time, like when you're talking about visionary goals that are more broad, which is what you guys have to put forth for our district. Sometimes there just needs to be a little digestion.
And I agree with that, Kristen, because I didn't fill out more goals because I wanted to hear the thought process behind what your goals were. Because, you guys came up with those for reasons, but those reasons weren't really explained. So I wanted to hear what the reasoning was, why you chose those, how you were going to measure those before I came up with anything new, because you guys definitely have a better feel for what the school really needs right now, obviously. but I didn't know why. I mean, because for me, I was like, you know, campus safety or school safety is like, what does that even mean? Why do we need that? Where are we deficient there? I'm on the school board and I haven't really had a feeling that there was a deficiency. So that's why I was like, no, I need to hear more about what you guys are talking about and why before I come up with something extraneous on the side that I think would be a great idea. So, I appreciate you guys really put a lot of work into that.
It was an amazing experience. We haven't done
So
that,
good.
but we were fortunate to get the grant funding and just like,
Yeah.
you can't do that during a regular school
No.
year. Like there's just so
Really
much
great.
chaos and people in the building. So to have like 2 full work days, it
Yeah.
was so good. And just the educational expertise under all those different lenses, like it's just really powerful.
Exactly. So, I mean, you have the best heads of the school together. And so, I mean, all of us, I feel comfortable coming up with board goals and policies that support you guys in what you need most. Because then we'll build on that.
Well, and I guess part of what you said there was one of the things that I didn't think about, it hasn't figured out a way to word it, but I think one more goal needs to be finding the things that administration can help with and how much more assistance can we provide to get them. So
Right.
I
That's what you
think,
need. Yeah.
right, so I think maybe I guess I would almost take one a little maybe to start with a goal from board itself is just that. And then we can have administration roles too. So, because I mean, we could all probably come up with several different things that we think, but I agree we need to be getting information and so to start with as new board members and new administration. That's been the whole focus I've had is how do we support getting this thing started? We get to continue the things that are going and as we find issues along the way, we can figure out how to support and continue moving it forward.
Yeah. Great. I think that's a big plus. And you gave me the cell phone policy, so I'm good. Okay.
And Sean, you got anything?
No. No, that's it.
So maybe next month we can do we can put in the agenda like a 15-minute work session and like really what I'm hearing is you guys are working towards broad, like what are the pillars of Dufur School that the board supports, then that we can be the workers behind making sure we have goals that are matching those pillars that you want for our students and our staff and our community.
Well, and I think narrowing down some of those pieces like campus safety, being the problems and the fire system, and just kind of where are we at with those, what we need to do to make this happen.
So everybody good with Kristen running with her priorities and then fleshing out the implementation? Good. The only thing I would say is, kind of seek some consensus, because I know Kristen said board book or something similar would be wonderful. She put a lot of work into getting it to us electronically. And so I would seek giving her the freedom to find what would be most efficient for you. That makes it also efficient for us. So that way it's a little bit less
Nice.
heavy on this. And of course we would need this, but that also give access to the public to grab their devices and kind of follow along with us and what.
So if you are curious, there's a ton of districts that use board book, and of course finances are always like if we don't budget for board book this year, it could be a research year. But like off the top of my head, the Dallas School District uses board book. So if you go onto their board of directors webpage, and anyone can do this, it's the whole packet is built using that software and there's no like redoing because when I did this I love Google Docs and I just create our agenda like Tim and I and Virginia have a shared folder that we build for the month but because I was in Sun River I didn't have access to my scanner so I was like well I can do it electronically but then I realized oh no like I'm gonna have to rename these because it's alphabetized. So you would have had this horrible folder with like memos everywhere and packets everywhere. But what Board Book does is it builds it around your agenda, and everybody can see that being built, and it's linked and organized. So definitely worthwhile of research.
So you want to give Kristen that, go ahead and sort of make sense there and
I would say yes. I mean, not only is it much better, it's much time spent. He's getting us a copy of it, stay one forever. It's just a lot there. So yeah, looking at what's out there.
Yeah.
No, but I'm a paper first. It should.
Janet, I'm a big paper guy. I support loggers.
Yeah, I agree. It's time. Yeah, this is too much paper. We need to stop.
And you can print from Board Book. So I like paper too.
Okay.
Yes. Probably.
you want.
I like both. Do you like?
Too.
I don't like when I have to use my picture on these things. Tend to.
Well, we will do it back and front after talking about that, but the 4 board members that are in here, we agreed that single-sided is not what we're gonna do from now on. We will do double-sided, so.
All right, number E or letter E, discussing superintendent evaluation. So, Kristen, you can let us know on the timeline what you're looking for us for this.
Yeah, I just want to get this process started. I love goal setting and being able to track your goals, and that's a big part of the superintendent evaluation. So you guys have in front of you, it's not colorized, sorry, but it's the COSA OSBA Superintendent Evaluation Workbook, and that just streamlines the whole process for you. So what I'm doing is presenting this framework in accordance with OSBA COSA best practices and state requirements for evaluating the superintendent. And what it does is incorporates 8 professional performance standards, superintendent goals aligned with district priorities, and then a collaborative approach designed to strengthen our board superintendent relationship, and also making sure that there's accountability and opportunities for growth and improvement. So if the board adopts a comprehensive evaluation framework, what that's going to do is provide some really clear performance expectations, measurement criteria for goal setting and objectives, and also make sure that the board's in compliance with Oregon statutes regarding the superintendent evaluation. And it's really nice because it establishes the time frame for you. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? The OSBA and COSA work together and did a really good job with this framework. It really enforces collaboration as part of the evaluation. And let's see, so I think what I'll do is just kind of walk you through it. I'm not going to read it word by word, but it is in your electronic board packet, and it's also can be found on the OSBA website. I'm really just going to go over the table of contents, and then I can try to answer questions. So it overviews the reason why we have superintendent evaluations. And then it talks about the 5-part evaluation tool, which can be found on page 4. So it establishes the 8 superintendent performance standards, which are taken from the national NELP standards, which is required for all superintendent licensure through the state of Oregon. Part 2 addresses superintendent goals. So the superintendent will establish goals that get approved at the beginning of the evaluation cycle. And then a big chunk of the evaluation, pretty much from the adoption of the goals until like a mid-year review, is all about evidence of performance. So me collecting articles of evidence to show that I'm moving through my goals and achieving them. And then part 4 is feedback on performance. That's an optional and would consist of the board either purchasing a targeted feedback survey from OSBA or creating their own. And then evaluation summary, which happens in March. And I double checked my superintendent's contract, and that contract also states March. So then page 6 is the timeline. So right now we are in the pre-evaluation stage, just coming to an agreement on what kind of criteria we're using for superintendent evaluation. And then if you guys adopt this framework tonight, then we'll start having executive session check-in meetings where I can go over my goals and artifacts and answer questions. January would be the mid-year review where I would do a special board presentation in the public meeting about my goals and artifacts. And that would be if you wanted to use a targeted feedback survey, you would need to conduct it at that time. And then March would be evaluation results and conclusion. So like all of this is just a lot. Let me get to more of the meat. There's a more visual timeline on page 13 if you prefer pictures like me. And then page 14 is the meat of it, which is which is the appendix portion. So appendix A outlines the performance standards, and you guys, I used my own copy, so you get to see me just. I have some handwritten stuff that doesn't really mean anything. It was just my thoughts and taking notes because I like, and that's why I like paper. So there's 8 standards. Standard 1 is visionary district leadership, which I think we have a lot of work to do around, specifically our vision statement and the continuous improvement plan that is stated 2019, needs a major overhaul. Standard 2 is ethics and professional norms, making sure that we have appropriate professional norms and culture in our building, integrity, transparency, trust, collaboration. Standard 3, inclusive district culture. Standard 4, culturally responsive instructional leadership and improvement. Standard 5, communication and community relations. Standard 6, effective organizational management. Standard 7, effective financial management. And then standard 8, policy, governance, and advocacy. All right, and then appendix B is superintendent goals. I have a rough, maybe that's, never mind. I do have a rough draft of goals to present to you tonight, but I'm not ready for the board to adopt them because I really wanted to have that discussion around board goals. Appendix C is artifacts of evidence and self-evaluation. So really tying artifacts to the 8 different standards and to my goals. And then page 33 is the targeted feedback survey, which is optional. So you'll have to make a decision there. And then appendix E is on page 35, and that leads you through like an evaluation summary at the end of the process. So what I'm looking for is what I recommend, just because OSBA and COSA are so trusted and up to date on everything legal and compliant and in compliance with Oregon state law for the superintendent evaluation. I recommend that the board adopts this 5-part evaluation framework. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
So we have a motion to adopt this and some discussion for
Basically, exactly what we did last year, except in a much shorter time period because we started in the middle, but it works. It works.
And I can present, I have some rough draft, maybe. I think I passed them out to you. I think discussion, if you want to take a look, I just titled it 2025-2026 superintendent's goals. It is a rough draft. Because I wanted to hear your guys' discussion around board goals, but I think that I feel comfortable doing 4 main goals. I don't want to at first I thought I was gonna do 8 for all of the 8 standards, and then realized that was a dumb idea. But 4 goals done really well is what I am aiming for. So right now, goal number 1 is maintain and improve a safe, welcoming, supportive, and inclusive environment. Goal 2, promote high quality instruction and student academic growth. Goal 3, grow community and staff trust through transparency and partnership. And goal 4, evaluate and renew the district mission and vision for strategic planning.
So we want to adopt, anybody want to make a motion to adopt the OSBA framework?
That we adopt the COSA superintendent evaluation process.
Jim moves, anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay. Dave seconds the adoption of the OSBA. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So, and then we'll take a look. I don't think it's, in my opinion, you go, oh, thanks for your goals. No, that's not what we want. So
Yeah.
this will stuff into this goal.
Yeah, and there will be a item on our agenda for next month to get those adopted so that it's crazy how fast January can creep up on you.
Next one is classified negotiations, board representatives, any volunteers? You did a negotiation for classified, and you can explain.
Yeah, so we are gonna enter into negotiations with our classified staff, since the certified staff came to an agreement with the board on their 3% pay scale increase. So classified staff includes educational assistants, transportation, facilities, and food services is the people that fall under that classification. And we need board representatives to be on the other side of negotiations with their salary, and it's time to do a review of their or their classified bargaining agreement as well. And then the only thing to keep in mind is that if you're connected to a staff member, like they're your family member, that would be a conflict of interest. And I think it goes both ways with certified and classified guys.
That pretty much leaves all of us out except Dan.
You can, as long as it's a class of people, like it's not an individual, it's a lump sum. It's not a conflict of interest, but it's better if it's not.
Well, and this is classified, so certified is closed, so classified would be EAs, custodial, food service, transportation. So it would be clearer. Yeah. So the teaching staff isn't included in this piece.
I am the worst negotiator ever on the face of the planet, so we'll have it.
I'll ask time that it would take. I've taken on a new piece of work, so
Usually it's pretty quick. There's a lot of school board staff trust within our district. Legally, normal negotiations, you have a 150-day limit. And that's not every day. Like I'm envisioning, like I'll be the mediator. So I'll have a meeting with classified staff to go over things, and then we'll all come together. And usually it's 1 or 2 meetings, maybe 3.
From presidents to the 2 board members, would you 3 be quorum?
Yeah, 2, it's
2.
2, yeah.
well, I'll go ahead and do it. I will check it out. Yeah. Any idea time of day that these might happen?
Not right now, but I'll survey staff and you guys and come up with a mutual time. It'll probably be, I mean, they're all working with kids during the school day, so it'll be afternoon, evening. Yeah.
And that leaves the question if Ann will fill the other spot. And I can legally, but it's better not to. So, I can't remember if we have to make a motion for that or not, do we?
I looked in the past minutes and there was a motion to appoint.
Yeah, it was an appointing thing.
Yeah.
I said, and won't do it, I'll do
Okay.
Yeah. So, motion to appoint Dave and Sean to the negotiations for classified staff. That I'll let you use it. Okay.
I will move,
Okay. Jana moves to appoint Dave and Sean to.
skipping right over the and thing and going straight to Sean, because he said if and wouldn't do it.
it. That's fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. Then
Well, we need a motion tonight to get it started. Name's not here. I mean, this is her, technically not her. But
And it was me.
yeah. So, motion to appoint Dave and Sean to the classified negotiation. That appointment. We got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
It's the second.
it's-
She's here.
Sorry, I should second it. I
Second, okay.
see that.
That's what I assumed, but
I second, you, I second.
Carrie, okay.
Motion, well, yeah, you can add a second. Motion to appoint Dave and Sean. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. Yeah, motion passes.
Here you go, Tim.
Got it. Resolution 2503, special revenue for fund appropriations. Kristen.
All right. So this is resolution 25-03 to increase our special revenue fund and appropriation for support services from $266,881 to $306,881 for the 25-26 school year. The reason being is that we received a $50,000 grant from Ag West, specifically for new staff computers. And then, just Oregon budget law dictates that we've got to do our appropriation resolutions and, just better for all if we do it now rather than having to remember what happened in June after a crazy school year.
Anybody want to make a motion? I make a motion that we adopt the special revenue fund appropriation as presented. Have a second. Shannon will second that. Any discussion? All right.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of passing the revenue fund appropriation, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion passes. Then the seismic phase 2 approval of award.
This is item H that you guys approved to add to our agenda for tonight. It is accompanied by this WRK IMEG packet. So this recommends the approval and award of the design contract to WRK Engineering, now IMEG, for our Dufur School District Phase 2 seismic rehabilitation project, which is going to concentrate on bolstering our construction in the elementary wing and the library. So WRK is the engineering firm who was given the award for phase 1 of our seismic project, which was concentrated pretty much to the lower gym. And let's see, so they also were the ones via their employee Brian Knight who secured this grant funding for us. So it's a very solid partnership that we've been able to have with them. Proven track record, you guys will see in the packet that like this is their seismic rehabilitation is their specialty. So if you look on I don't know if the pages are numbered, but basically on the 4th page that says firm history, they actually provide a seismic rehabilitation map of all of the projects that they have been a part of. And it's all school districts pretty much with a few fire districts in there. So very proven track record. My recommendation is that the board approve the award of the design contract to WRK Engineering, now IMEG, for the Dufur School District Seismic Phase 2 project. just because of their combination of specialized expertise, established district relationship with us, and the proven performance on phase one with our gym, just positions them as the optimal choice. And they were the only firm who submitted an RFQ for us. So if we don't approve it, puts us in a little bit of a pickle.
Team motion to approve this.
I moved
Okay,
for them.
Jen moves, any second,
So,
Dave will second it. Take a vote on it. All those in favor of approving WRK IMG for the seismic rehabilitation, contract, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous. That concludes, before we conclude, I wanna make in this district board meeting report, I caught an error that is in there and I don't want it to get out to where it's like, oh, that kind of snuck through. So one of the things I did at the end of that, I said we could do a special meeting or we could do it in September. And at the end of it says committee proposal for focus work. It's a proposal, but one of the words in there is we, to ensure dedicated attention and effective planning for board specific goal. We propose the formation. Strike that out. It shouldn't be we. It should be I, and we went with her goals and not trying to do much more than her goals. So just make that apparently clear. We're not trying to do anything or need clarification. We do stuff and you're right. Committee of the whole for specific goals, but we're not doing. Does that make sense? So if you read through we scratch that out. Alright, anything left for the good Lord? Alright, with that, this meeting is adjourned.